Welcome back to the Plays with Cars YouTube channel and another episode of Project Cobra. That's right, we're finally doing a working on the Cobra video more than just fixing the starter problem that we had earlier in the year. Yeah, so I took the steering wheel out. As you can see, the original steering wheel here is trash. The original leather cover has completely disintegrated off. The foam that was underneath it is on there and just sticky and gooey and a righteous mess. Now, I had wrapped this with one of those cheap vinyl wraps 3 years ago, but just put that in Project Bronco to sell that off because we have a new steering wheel for this. But this is what the Cobra looks like without a steering wheel right now. Let me show you what we're going to put in here. Those of you who really have been following Cobra for a long time know that I have an entire interior for it from a 2003 Mach 1, along with Cobra seats from a 99 Cobra. Check those out. So all of this is going to go in there to replace that crappy tan. Well, one of the things that is part of this little interior dealio is this bad boy right here. Look at that. That is a Mach 1 steering wheel, so it's charcoal gray. It's not black. But that's okay, because the whole interior I have for this thing is dark charcoal gray. And you can see it is just way, way, way nicer. Let me get it out here in the light. Look at that. This thing is like minty fresh. These steering wheels go for like, I don't know, $400 or $500 is what the guy was saying, and I totally believe it. Like, this thing is rad. Now, the cool thing about this is, you'll notice, other than like having all of this stuff be the same, including the same cruise control switches and everything, I can use my same airbag. I don't have the airbag from this because the car this came out of was wrecked and went kapoofy. Plus that airbag said Mustang on it. I've got an airbag that says Cobra on it. Right here. See, it says Cobra across the front. We can stick that in there. Just like that. Now, yes, I know it looks crappy right now, but later on I'm going to get this dark charcoal dye. You can actually buy the real dye from Ford and dye this cover if I can't find a Cobra cover that's already charcoal. But we can at least dye it, make it match, so we can have a Cobra steering wheel, and have it still look like a Cobra steering wheel even though it's Mach 1. So yeah, I'm going to get this plugged in the car, and we will see how that looks. Let's see here. How can I do this? These little cords here got to come through. Like so. Come on now. There you go. And then that goes on there. Poof! Bam! Look at that. We got a steering wheel. Now I got to put the big screw back on it, tighten everything down, and then put my airbag on there, and we're good to go. And then we're back to having a nice steering wheel. That's going to be so much better to autocross with. Yeah. So other things we're doing with this, I might screw around with some more of the interior, taking some things out. We are getting ready for the last gasp of the year. Tomorrow and Sunday are, that's it for racing basically. It's the last SCCA autocross of the year. This thing is actually going to go run cam. Susie's going to go take it and run cam with it on Saturday because I am going to the model show. Those of you that watch the Miniatures Mondays know that it's the big Oregon Model Society scale model show on Saturday. So I'm going to go do that instead. She's going to race the Cobra. Then Saturday night is the Streetcar Syndicate end of the year that shootout thing that I've been talking about for a while, where it's Team Ford, Team Mopar, Team GM, and rest of the world, and there's 4 cars in each team, and it's about the team winning, not the individual winning. So I'm on Team Ford, obviously, and we're going to try and make that happen. Each team is comprised of kind of like a mix of cars, so I'm definitely not the fastest guy there, but I'm also not the slowest guy, so who knows, we'll see. Maybe I can get pitted up against somebody I can take out in first round or something and get some points for the team. There's also some trickery things they can do, so you can basically not show up to the line and the other person doesn't get the points. So if I get paired up with like a 9 or 10 second drag car, I can just not show up to the line. He wins, but he doesn't get the points for his team. So there's definitely, like, they want the faster cars to run the faster cars, and the middle cars to run the middle cars, and the slow cars to run the slow cars. So hopefully I get somebody that's in that same mid to low 13-second range, and we can have a good race. It's an instant green heads-up quarter mile. So I'm going to do some things, because last time out we set our best ever with the car. It was a 13:39 at 104. That's my personal best in this car. And for an all-motor, essentially stock motor too, Cobra, that's pretty good, especially considering it's set up for road racing. I mean, it's got 355 gears in the back. We're running 275 wide tires in the front, which is typically what Mustang guys run in the back, all that good stuff. So I'm going to try and find some weight in this thing I can take out. I know you technically can't have the back seat out for Cam, but since it's a one-time thing and she's not running for points, we'll probably pull that out because that's like an easy 60 pounds. The AC's drained right now, so I might take out the AC condenser just to get some weight off the nose, because this car, all the weight's in the nose, so I'm going to get more taking stuff out of the front than out of the back, so we'll see what we can do with it. But for now, I'm working on the interior, getting that steering wheel in. Alright, so I got the back seat out, but I wanted to take time to talk about something called phantom weight. Now, if you've watched Project Porsche videos at all, you've heard me talk about phantom weight. That's weight that's been added to a car or is stuck in a car that you might not know about. You know, little rocks and gravel pieces getting inside these sills, extra screws and things laying around, junk in the interior. In this particular car, we have a whole bunch of phantom weight from back in a previous life when it had a system in it. So you can see I've got all of this cabling here that's been run inside on this side, and also on this side. And this stuff has some heft to it. It has some weight. It's real cabling. And I mean, look at this. This goes nowhere. Look at that. There are no amplifier or subwoofers or anything like that left in this car. All of this does nothing. This is weight I'm carrying around that's making my car go slower and get worse gas mileage because the previous owner put it there and I haven't bothered to take it out yet. So all that's getting X-nayed. Alright, so as you can see, I took the back seat out completely. I got a charcoal seat to put back in, and don't really need the tan one, so we're just going to try and get away with it for now. And then here up front, I got the steering wheel in, the airbag cover back in place. Now, the airbag is still in it. I did not hook the airbag up, though. Frankly, that thing scares me. It's from 1996. And you know, it's 2019 now, so you're talking this thing's, what, 23, 24 years old? Plus manufacture date, like, man, especially like wearing a helmet, autocrossing, you know, if something happens and this thing taps something, I don't want that thing going off on me. So I left it unplugged. Everything else will work, though. The horn and all that stuff is plugged in. So that's on there. Got all that stuff out. Look at this pile of wiring I took out. All of this was used, like, look at this one. This literally, like, it was run through the kick panels and then just ended in a coil. Like, this guy never had this hooked up to anything. Like, I have no idea what he was doing. So all of this stuff is out now and just done with. There's the rear seat insulation and all the pieces for the back seat. So this is what we've taken out so far. I'm going to keep trying to lose some easy weight off of this thing. Now, I can't go too crazy. Like, I can't take this big strut bar off because this will affect how it handles for autocross, and we want it to autocross well too. So I can't get too stir crazy, but there's definitely still some more low-hanging fruit I can do to get this thing out of here, because with it running a 13.3, you know, you're what, 400 pounds from a 12.9, which would be awesome. I am not at 400 pounds, nor will I be, but you know, even if I can get down to, like, say, 13.2, that would be pretty cool with this car as it sits. So if I had some front runners I could put on, that would definitely help do the trick too. Same thing with some more drag racing type back tires than these, but again, it's got an autocross too. So, and it'd be kind of cool to run it in the same trim on the same day, right? Like, run Cam, see how it does overall in Cam, change nothing on the car but tire pressures, and go drag racing and see what it runs. So that's what we're going to do with it on Saturday. I'm hoping to get this video up and live before the event actually happens. So I'm going to keep working. And that's going to do it for Project Cobra. So I didn't end up taking any of the AC stuff out. There's just a tiny little itty bit of Freon still in there, and I want to try and leave it good because it did work, and I want it to continue working in the future. So letting a bunch of contaminants in, probably not a good idea. So anyways, left all that alone, but I did completely take out the back seat. I vacuumed everything out back here. I got the helmets already in there for tomorrow. Finished up all the wiring stuff, put the sills back on because they don't weigh anything. And basically just got the interior all nice cleaned up. Put the numbers in the trunk for Susie, so she's got them for tomorrow. All I got left is to check all the fluids, top those off, check the air pressure, top that off, and it's good to go. So that's all we're going to do today for Project Cobra. We lost probably in the neighborhood of 100 pounds, honestly, from the back seat. That thing is super heavy in between that and all the phantom weight. So, maybe the difference between that 13.3 to a 13.2, we'll see. But long and short of it is, the car is been given a good once-over. Everything looks in great shape, and she's ready to rock for tomorrow to go run autocross with SCCA for Cam for one more shot, and then going for the end of the season drag race with Streetcar Syndicate with that team shootout. So tomorrow, representing Team Ford, we'll see what we can do. We'll definitely do a field trip video there. So until next time, this has been Plays with Car. Alright, and we're home now with Project Cobra. All the drag racing is done. I didn't get any on-car footage because the drag strip is still a little weird about like GoPros and things on the car, and obviously can't hold it inside or anything like that. I don't have a permanent enough setup yet for like inside the car. I think that would be the way to go, is have something set up like on a harness bar, something like that in the back to run with the camera looking out. But anyways, we ran the car there. So it's exactly the same it was last time we went drag racing when we did the 8th mile stuff with Streetcar Syndicate, except for I took out all the back seat stuff and got some weight out of the car. But anyways, just getting out that weight, we were talking about in the video that it was, about 100 pounds, and it should be worth the 1/10 of a second. So I wanted to show you what that meant. Here are my previous time slips with the car in reverse order. So this... Nope, not that one. That one. Yeah, so this was my previous best. So this was, oh no, that was back at the 8th mile racing. Never mind. So yeah, so that was the 8th mile racing. That was the previous best. 13.399 at 103.06 with a 186 60-foot time. Look at that react, man. I always chop the tree down. Anyways, so the 13.39, 399 was the previous best in the car. And when we went back, here we go, September, so 4 weeks later, this one's a 42, that one's a 76, that's a 41. What are we looking for here? Somewhere up here is the magic ticket. I think it's this next one. Nope, that one sucked. That's a bad run. Ah, here we go. There we go. Chopping the tree down again. It was 64. Only a 195 60-foot time. So you can see our 60-foot is actually a 1/10 of a second slower. So there's a whole nother 1/10 in this particular run. But even then, 103.5 versus 103.06. You can see the car's basically making the same power. That's basically a little bit better density altitude, if that. But we did a 13.33. So even though we were off by a 1/10 of a second on the 60-foot, we still picked up 700ths on, or 600ths on the big end. So if you took that 600ths and you take that 1/10 of a second, about 0.16 seconds off the time of the car by taking out that weight. So it might have been more even than 100 pounds. But yeah, so this is our new current best with the car. Like I said, 15C, that's me. You can see it's up there on the window. But 064 light, 195 60-foot time. I'm surprised that I did so well with such a bad 60-foot compared to last time. Ended up with a 13.33 with a 6 at 103.54 miles an hour. So that is our new best on the car. The strip's going to be open a couple more days this year, but I don't have anything else to do to the car to make it go any better. And I'm probably not going to have enough time to get down to the track either. So that's going to do it for this year. We'll do some stuff on the off season and try to get it better and go make some runs at it, because I really want to run 12s in this thing all motor. I think that would be super fun. It's only 281 cubic inches, 4.6 liters. It is NA. You guys saw in the dyno video, it only puts 285 horses to the rear wheels. Granted, that's at like 6,200 RPMs, and it revs out to about 73. So it's probably making more than that, way up there at the rev range, because it was still climbing on the dyno graph. But you know, it's not that powerful of a car. In the day where you can go down to the dealership and buy a 707 horsepower Hellcat like nothing, you know, 285 horses isn't exactly a lot, but this thing still pulls down some great ETs. Yeah, so 13 threes at 103 is what she does. So that's the current situation for Project Cobra. And again, that's set up road racing trim. This thing is spent that whole day autocrossing with Sports Car Club of America in Cam, did great, and then went to dinner, and then went back to the track, had to pay entry fee again, and ran all that drag racing, and then drove home. All on the same tires, all on the same setup, and it is a road race setup. You can see I got the Falcon RT 615K Pluses here on the front, and I'm running 275s on the front, you know, which is what most Mustang guys have on the back when they're at the drag strip. So that's a lot of tire we're pushing, and these are 9-inch FR500 wheels. So if I went to more like a 7-inch wheel and, you know, more like a 225 tire and not something so sticky, it would do a little bit better. And then same thing with the back. If you went to something that's more of like a drag radial instead of a road race tire, something with some sidewall squish, especially if we put 15s on the back. 15s won't fit on the front. They won't clear the Cobra brakes, but on the back they will. So you can run a 17-inch front runner and a 15-inch rear, and really kind of make the thing drag race a bit. But again, that would screw up its road racing ability and all that stuff. So who knows what we're going to do yet. I was talking about it would be really cool to get a set of drag wheels that can go in the back of this thing that they would all fit, like both drag radials and the front runners. And so we would, you know, road race on these, stay at the track like we did last time, and just swap tires. That's it. Just swap tires and see what happens. But also, like my IBAC coilovers, they're non-adjustable. So upgrading to something adjustable where I can soften up the rear at the drag strip, things like that, could really help out. But that's all for next season, so we'll see what we're going to do. For now, though, that's going to wrap up Project Cobra for the year as far as driving and racing goes, I'm sure. And now we're going to spend a whole long off-season putting the interior in and getting these sweet Cobra seats in. Check that out. And getting rid of all that crappy tan stuff and getting the stereo in it and all that other stuff. But also, even though we're putting weight back in, we're going to try and take weight out of other areas and see what we can do with the car. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for a lot of garage working videos on the Cobra. But it's still running great. Everything went on amazing at the racetrack, and it was cool to set a new personal best in the car. That's not my personal best. I've done well, more 12s than I can count, quite a few 11-second cars, and the quickest I've ever been is an 11:01. I'm like right there to the 10-second zone. But as far as in this particular car, this car's best is the 1336 at 103.5. And again, that's full street trim, all that good stuff, AC, power steering, all that. So she's been a good car. We're definitely happy with it. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and that's going to be it for Project Cobra for racing for 2019.